Hey guys, just want to give you an overview of my Halloween collection here. It's not the biggest collection you're going to see on YouTube, but you might see some interesting things in it, so I thought I'd upload it. I've seen a few on YouTube that are pretty dazzling, and maybe in a few years' time my collection will be on that level. But for now, I'll just give you an overview of what I have, and then as I add more stuff to the collection, I'll provide updates on the channel. So I'm going to start off here with a couple of novelizations. Now, I'm not really too interested in collecting memorabilia as such. I'm only really interested in the movies themselves, so different editions of the movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, Laserdisc, whatever. The only other thing I do want to add to the collection are the novelizations. Now, there are four novelizations. Three of them, 1 to 3, are written by a writer called Dennis Etchison. And for the first movie adaptation, he wrote it under the name of Curtis Richards, which you can see there on the spine. Now, this is pretty rare, and there are copies of this going for some crazy money on Amazon, but I got it for a bit of a steal, so it was great to add that to the collection. There's a look at the back cover there, and I'll just show you inside here. Let's hope this comes out. Yeah, you can see there, Corgi edition, published 1980. So this is an original edition, and it's in pretty much perfect condition, so it's great to have that in the collection. I also have the adaptation of Halloween 3, again by Dennis Etchison. This time, however, he's writing under the pseudonym of Jack Martin, which he had previously written the adaptation of Halloween 2 under as well. Now, Etchison didn't come back for the adaptation of Halloween 4, and I think the reason for that was he actually wrote a script for Halloween 4, the movie, and when that was rejected, I guess he didn't like the idea of having to novelize somebody else's script. That's my guess as to why he didn't come back. A writer called Nicholas Grabowski went on to write the novelization of Halloween 4. But Halloween 3, it's a much longer novel than Halloween. I haven't read it yet, so looking forward to dipping into that at some point. Again, this one's in pretty good condition. Not quite as good condition as the first book. And it doesn't go for quite the same money, but it is still quite valuable, so delighted to have that in the collection, and I hope to add the novelizations of Halloween 2 and Halloween 4 at some point. Now on to the DVDs. So we'll start with this box set, The Ultimate Collection. This came out, I think, in around 2003, and it was the first box set of Halloween movies to be released. It's a 6-disc set. It's got Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, 4, 5, H20. So at the time this was released, I think it was just before Resurrection came out, so obviously that's not in the set, and there was a rights issue with Halloween 6, so that's missing. But it's a pretty great set. Just give you a look at the inside. Some nice artwork there. Great image, of course, from Halloween 3. Shot of Jamie Lee Curtis from H20. A booklet. Doesn't really have a whole lot of info. Just basically the chapter titles of the various things. Some nice artwork there. And there you can see the discs. Now, at this point when we've got Blu-rays, the quality of these discs isn't great, but at the time I remember this was an amazing pickup. It cost quite a bit back in the day, and I was very excited to get it at the time, and it's great to still have it in the collection. Now we'll go through the movies one by one, starting with Halloween. This is the Anchor Bay 2-disc lenticular. I don't know. Yeah, you can just about pick it up on camera there. A nice lenticular hologram cover. This was another great disc when it came out at the time, but actually it doesn't hold up too well now. It's got the extended TV footage version, so that was amazing to get at the time. I'd never seen that. I think it was released on video in the US, but never over on this side of the pond. Also has the Halloween Unmasked 2000 documentary, and the usual trailers, TV spots. So not a huge amount of extras, but at the time it was great to have the TV version. Now in 2003, this came out, the 25th anniversary edition DiviMax. So the picture on this was a big improvement over previous editions, and it's still probably, aside from Blu-rays, it's the best the movie has looked. Now the one problem is they did mess around with the color a bit, but that's something we'll get onto later when we're talking about the Blu-rays. So this again is a 2-disc. Let's see if we can just focus in here. Yeah, so this has the Halloween A Cut Above the Rest 87-minute documentary. Really great documentary. On location 25 years later. That's a nice little featurette. PJ Soles, Deborah Hill talking about the original location. And then you've got the usual trailers, TV spots, radio spots, etc. So great DVD edition. Excellent picture quality. Shame they messed around with the colour a bit. This here is a French edition of Halloween. Pretty bare bones edition. It is widescreen though, and it is, I think there's an option for English language on this, but the picture on this one is actually pretty good. It hasn't had the colour messed around with. It's pretty good. So of the DVDs of Halloween, if you want to see it without the colour messed around with, and you can speak French of course, this is the way to go. But aside from that, it's pretty much a bare bones release. Here's another of Halloween from Germany this time, where it's called Halloween 1 Die Nacht de Grauen. Probably not pronouncing that correctly, but and this again, pretty bare bones. I think this version is widescreen but not anamorphic, which means you've got a square in the middle of your TV with the widescreen picture inside that square, so that's an iron. So pretty bare bones release and not really great quality. This wouldn't be one you'd be buying to watch. Simply one's nice to have in the collection though. Now, here's a great edition. Halloween 25 Years of Terror. This is the 4-disc edition. As far as I know, this was a UK only exclusive that you could only pick up at the time in HMV shops. So pretty great to have this. This is based around the convention that was held in 2003 celebrating 25 years of the franchise. So it's got lots of features that were shot during the convention. So we've got all the panels. There's panels from all the different movies, so a bunch of the actors, a bunch of the crew, all the guys who played Michael Myers, they all show up for panels, really entertaining stuff. And it's also got the same special features that you saw earlier, Cut Above the Rest, on location, and it's got the movie, obviously, Halloween Unmasked. So great set. Something like 7 hours, yeah, over 7 hours of special features. So this is a must-have for any Halloween fan. In the US, I think they only released a 2-disc, but if you can play UK DVDs, pick yourself up a copy of this. Fantastic. Also from the UK is this edition. It was given away with a UK newspaper called The Sun. Now this is completely bare bones. You stick it in your player and the movie starts playing automatically. Doesn't even have chapter stops. There's no menu, anything. Complete bare bones, but nice little addition to the collection. Now moving on to other formats. We have the UK Anchor Bay UMD of Halloween. Now UMD stands for Universal Media Disc. I believe it does anyway, don't quote me on that. And this was a format that was made for Sony. Now I think they had planned this to be some sort of a rival to DVD, and they originally tested it on the PSP, which was a portable console they brought out in the mid 2000s, but it didn't take off too well. I think it was only like 24 or so movies released on the format, and Halloween was one of them. So pretty cool to have it in the collection. Just give you a look there. That's what a UMD looks like. It's like a small little CD inside a plastic case. So pretty cool little oddity to have in the collection. Now we have a VHS, again from France, where the movie is known as La Nuit des Masques, the Night of the Mask. This is a pan and scan video from 1988. You see on the back there you've got Nancy Loomis died. Bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, but sure anyone watching this knows all about it. The one thing I notice about this is, I don't know if this is the same for all French VHS, but this case weighs a ton compared to the cases I'm used to here in Ireland and UK videos back in the day. This thing is built like a battleship. And there's the videotape inside. Now on to Blu-ray. This is the Anchor Bay 2007 edition. I believe this was the first edition of the movie on Blu-ray. Bonus features. It's got a commentary with John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis, and producer Deborah Hill. Now the only thing is the three of them aren't together. They recorded 3 separate commentaries, so it kind of cuts between them. Now I've often wondered about this. Are there 3 complete commentaries by each of these guys out there somewhere? Or did they just record commentaries for specific scenes? It seems a bit odd that they would do the latter, so I'm guessing somebody somewhere has full feature-length commentaries from all 3 of these guys. So come on, let's have a listen to that, whoever holds the rights to it. At the time this was amazing, the best the film had looked, but again they messed around with the colour. They removed a lot of the blue from the nighttime scenes, and in the daytime scenes they kind of bumped up the green, so it lost some of that autumnal quality. So when you watch this, it's very kind of clear that it's not being shot in the Midwest in autumn. Of course the movie itself was filmed in California, and it's kind of a giveaway the way they messed around with the colour on this. Dean Cundy, the cinematographer, he wasn't happy about this when he saw it. He was raging. So thankfully, a few years later, in 2013, they released this, the 35th anniversary edition, and Dean Cundy was brought in to supervise the transfer. So he put the blue back into the evening scenes, and he toned down the colour in the daytime scenes. So this is an absolutely beautiful version of the film. It's got that autumnal quality that's so necessary to the movie. You also get a nice booklet with this. Now this is the UK steelbook, but the contents are pretty much exactly the same as the US 35th anniversary media book. The booklet is the same, disc is the same, it's just the steelbook is different. One little kind of geeky annoying thing about this, we have a quote on the back, "Was it the boogeyman, Laurie Strode?" which is actually a misquote, because of course in the movie she says it was the boogeyman, which is a much more chilling line. But great edition, this gorgeous steelbook. Now we'll move on to Halloween 2. This is the UK edition from Sanctuary Entertainment. Pretty good edition. It's in full widescreen, anamorphic. Great cover with that classic image of the skull pumpkin. This one has an amusing commentary by film critics Stephen Jones and Kim Newman, and I'm surprised they actually allowed this commentary to go on, because it's not exactly complimentary of the film. They actually criticize a lot of the movie, so fair play for them to put it on. But generally I have to disagree with them. I think this is a fantastic movie, not in the same league as the original of course, but great follow-on sequel. Here's another UK edition of Halloween 2. It's an earlier one. I think this is from 1999. This is completely bare bones, and it's such an early edition that it's not even widescreen. It's 4:3 pan and scan, so the dreaded pan and scan. This certainly isn't one you'd be sticking in to have a watch. Strictly one for the collection. And the same goes for this bare bones French edition. La Nuit la plus terrifiante, more of the night. Absolutely bare bones. I think this again is non-anamorphic widescreen, so not a great copy, and I don't think there's actually an English option, so oh no, yeah, original language. Another horrible edition. This is Halloween 3 UK edition. This one has no special features, and again it's pan and scan. The film looks absolutely atrocious on this version, so not one you'd be watching, but love the cover, so in the collection it is. Now, a better version is the US Universal release. This is one of the few versions in which the movie is presented in its proper aspect ratio of 2:35:1. Most of the editions that say they're widescreen are actually only 1:85:1, so you're missing quite a bit of picture. Unfortunately, this is region 1, and at the moment I don't have a multi-region DVD player, so I haven't been able to check it out. But it's a bare bones release, but I hear picture is pretty good, and of course it's nice to have it in that proper aspect ratio, and it's got that great cover image of course, so great to have in the collection. Next is another edition of Halloween 3, this one from Germany. This is kind of a goofy edition. For start, credits John Carpenter. John Carpenter's Halloween 3. Of course, he didn't direct Halloween 3. Halloween 3 was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. You guess the credit down here. I actually interviewed Tommy Lee Wallace last year for a website I write for, so I'll stick that link into the notes at the bottom. You can go check that out. He's a cool guy and he loves to talk, so it's a huge interview I did with him. I've also interviewed Tony Moran, who is the face of the Shape in that scene in Halloween when the mask briefly gets pulled off. So I'll put a link to that in there as well. You guys might like to check that out. Again, this is absolutely atrocious copy, not anamorphic widescreen, and the picture quality looks like it was ported directly from the Laserdisc. I suspect that's what happened here. But interesting cover, is a bit goofy. Now on to Halloween 4. And this is pretty bare bones UK release. Don't think there are any special features on this one. No, it doesn't look like it. I think it is in proper anamorphic widescreen though, so not a bad copy. Great cover as well. Great sequel. And here is another German version. Pretty similar cover. Actually prefer this cover. Get to see a bit of the house in the background there. Nice kind of watercolor look to it. Atrocious picture quality on this one again. So not one you'd pop in, sit down and watch. But it's in the collection. Now, if I do want to sit down and watch Halloween 4, this is the way to go. Halloween 4 Blu-ray. This again is Anchor Bay. Anchor Bay must love this franchise for the amount of money they've made it off it and so many editions they've released over the year. But this is great quality, absolutely beautiful transfer. Got two really good commentaries, one with Ellie Cornell and Danielle Harris, and another with the director Dwight H. Little and Justin Boehm, who runs HalloweenMovies.com, I believe. And it's got one of the panels that's on the 25 Years of Terror that you saw earlier as well. Great Blu-ray. Now, on to one that's not my favourite movie. Halloween 5 has some good stuff in it. Donald Pleasance gets some good moments, but it's full of really irritating teenage characters. There's some really stupid choices made in this, like the goofy music that plays whenever those two comic relief cops are around. So I think there's a decent movie in here somewhere. There's just a lot of rubbish that needs to be cut out of it. But yeah, it's watchable if you're a fan of the series. Again, this is a bare bones, non-anamorphic widescreen release. But great cover art. And you'll see that cover art again on the Anchor Bay tin. This is a fantastic edition. Anchor Bay brought out tins of Halloween 4 and 5. I have the Halloween 4 tin on order, but it hasn't arrived yet, so I'll do a video when that turns up. But for now, here's the Halloween 5 tin. For this one, they brought out 15,000. So you can see there, this is number 4398, 15,000. Really good quality transfer on this. This is the best edition on DVD. Almost looks like Blu-ray, it's so good. It's got a nice little introduction by Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell, a short documentary. And inside, if I can just open this with one hand. Inside we have this nice booklet. It's just a photo booklet, no text. Some great images inside. Nice little feature. Here you have a mini poster. Great artwork for this movie. Pity the movie doesn't really match up to it, but chapter selections and the disc itself. Fantastic edition. I'm not really sure why Anchor Bay only did tins for 4 and 5, seeing as they own the rights to the first movie as well. It's odd how they didn't bring out a tin for the first one. Would have been huge with Halloween fans, but there you go. Now on to another lesser movie, Halloween 6. course, of Michael Myers. Now, there are famously two cuts of this, the theatrical cut and the producer's cut. This is just the theatrical cut. This is a bare bones Lionsgate UK release. Full widescreen though, pretty good picture. The producer's cut finally got a proper release on the US 15-disc Blu-ray collection, after previously it was only available as a bootleg. But over here we're still waiting for a decent edition of the producer's cut, so this will have to do for now. Now back to a good movie, Halloween H20, which is a great return for Jamie Lee Curtis. When I saw this first, when it came out at the cinema, I wasn't really sold on it, but I've really grown to like it over the years. Great movie, some fantastic moments. The last half hour is some of the best stuff of the whole franchise. This is a pretty bare bones release, not much little making of featurette, a music video, trivia game, but full widescreen, decent picture. And again from Germany we have this version, and again it's another kind of pretty goofy looking cover, but there are some pretty good extras on this one that aren't on the UK edition. We get interviews with the cast and crew, some behind the scenes footage, and pretty good picture on this as well, and I'm pretty sure there's an English language option, so this is one you could stick in and watch. Pretty good. And here's H20 on VHS, pan and scan edition from back in the day. No special features, of course. I don't actually have a VHS player. It's a long time since I had one, but I do plan to add more VHS to the collection, so pretty good to have. And now here's another edition of H20 Laserdisc. This is pretty much the same edition as the UK DVD I showed you. In fact, I think it's actually more bare bones, doesn't have any features. I don't actually have a Laserdisc player at the moment. I'm always kind of keeping an eye out for one, but living in Ireland where Laserdisc never really took off, it means I'd have to order one from the US, and it's pretty pricey, so not something I'm gonna pick up for a while, it seems. But if I can pick up cheap Laserdiscs, I will. Most of them seem to go for crazy money, but I was able to get this one for a good price, so into the collection it goes. And finally, we have my least favourite of the original collection. Now, I should have said that I don't have any of the Rob Zombie movies, and I don't plan to add them to the collection. I'm only really concerned with the original run of movies from Halloween to Halloween Resurrection. This movie is absolutely atrocious. Not too concerned with adding various editions of this one to the collection. If I find them cheap, I might pick them up, but I'm not going to go out of my way. Terrible film, just so annoying what they did, trying to ape the whole found footage thing. It does have a good opening scene where Jamie Lee Curtis says a final farewell to Michael. It's actually a really good addition. Some great features in this: commentary from director Rick Rosenthal, deleted alternate scenes, webcam special, tour of the set, Jamie Lee Curtis featurette, headcam featurette, storyboard comparison. So absolutely packed with extras. Great addition. Shame about the movie. So that's it, guys. You've seen my collection. I've got more stuff in the mail, so as stuff arrives and I add it to the collection, I'll upload smaller updates. But this was an overview of the collection, so hope you enjoyed it, and leave a comment, leave links to any videos you have from your own collection. Love watching them. Thanks, guys.